let's start this again. And we're back. Now everyone can hear me. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast. See, you just can't assume everything's going to work every time that you put it out there. Just go through the same
Negative.
thing. Yeah. Just as like doing the same thing I always do, have a setup, always do. I never change my setups. And I didn't even notice the no volume coming out there. It's like, okay, yes. So we're back, and of
Blame
course
it
the
on
Lakers
sports,
pass
baby.
break. Yes, there you go. Sports baby, get on over here, man. When you get well, he was driving. He said he was driving, so we're
Yeah,
gonna go ahead and
apparently.
make sure he doesn't crash into any cars. But if he gets home safe, come on and stop on by on the show. It's Gerald Glassford along with an extraordinarily awesome guy. You got to go ahead and catch him as part of our crew on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And then, of course, the super mod of all super mods right there for us at the Lakers Fast Break. It is Mark, aka Xbox. Marky Mark, aka Xbox. Great to have you here. Still waiting for Barca Fast Break. So I know that
Don't worry, we're working on it. It's
I know
when
you
it
said
happens, it'll be
I know
worth
you
it.
said no to a Messi versus Ronaldo argument because I was
Yeah, no,
thinking of
not
themes on
happening. Not going to
okay,
entertain that like John and Joe because it's not an
okay,
argument.
all right,
So
all
let's
right,
not even breach that subject right now. But yeah, the goat's Messi in soccer, and most people do know that. So don't worry
fair
about
enough.
that one. And yeah, SB wasn't going to be able to hold his weight with that argument. That's for sure. But all good.
Yeah,
We're here to
no,
talk
JSJ,
basketball.
I don't pull those kind of pranks on. I don't try intentionally on you guys. You guys are watching us and taking some time out of your day to watch us. So we're trying to take the best out of our time to go ahead and bring it to you. Um, Yes, I saw bits and pieces of it as I was thinking I was setting up with the right setup.
Yeah,
Um, we're going to discuss the NBA playoffs tonight. Hope and Sports Baby will drop by because his Indiana Pacers qualified for the playoffs this evening. They avoid the play-in. We'll
yeah.
talk about both the Eastern and the Western conferences tonight, where the standing is right now, and where the Lakers are in all of this as we get set up for tomorrow night's game against the Golden State Warriors and the red hot, sizzling hot Stephen Curry after 12 threes tonight, I believe it was, and
Mm,
52 points. Yeah. So, uh,
Mamma mia.
yeah, exactly. Indeed. So that's
When
what
you're
we're
the
getting ourselves into for tomorrow. We'll go ahead and preview that plus the New Orleans Hornets as well. Legend 350, you want to stop on by? Let me know. I'll go ahead and email you a link as well. I just want to have a casual conversation for an hour on the NBA playoffs as it stands right now. So, Mark, very exciting game yesterday. The Lakers providing a lot of great defense. I think again, as I looked at the game yesterday from yesterday and looked at the highlights at it, I'm more convinced the Lakers, especially Luca, Austin, LeBron, put so much emphasis on giving you in the half court offense. You can see
mm,
LeBron. He was not getting back on defense, but once he got there, he was providing energy. He was the guy often guarding the opposing team center, Sengun. Sometimes he was guarding Adams as well. Your thoughts on last night's game? A crucial victory for the Lakers. It puts them within the slightest of range of getting the number 2 seed. They would actually have to win another game against Houston, have a better record than Houston, and also hope Houston falters down the stretch as well. But at least we still have a chance.
hell yeah. I mean, look, we've just got to keep winning games, give ourselves the chance to get into that second spot. Thankfully, and it's been a pretty epic game, a few epic games tonight from a couple of stars in the league. Obviously, you mentioned Steph, but on the flip side, Joker's had a pretty big game in a losing effort, which is always nice to see for our fans that go for the Nuggets. But yeah, look, for me yesterday, Gerald, like, when you're caught up in the moment, it's hard to sometimes see exactly what's happening. And I think your point there is really valid about what they're exerting on that side of the ball. Also feel like it's probably a bit of an underrated win too. Like, we do, like, obviously we've had some bad losses lately, and we'll admit that. But some of our wins have come against teams that are absolutely flying too. Like I feel like that game against the Pacers. Yeah, I know that we nearly choked it, blah blah. But at the end of the day, we did win that game. They were absolutely flying at the time. Okay, we went and had a bad loss after that, but against the Bulls, admittedly. But sometimes you're going to play down to your opposition and get caught out quite significantly, which we did with that really bad loss, and then obviously the giddy, last second shot. But yesterday's win was nice, man. The Rockets would have come in there and gone, anyone that comes to LA wants to beat us. That game was as important for them as it was for us. So I think we just got to, we're not playing perfect basketball. We'll admit that. It's sort of, we've gone from, conceding under 100 points to, doesn't feel like we're ever going to concede under 100 points again, but, we're still winning games. So it's obviously there's going to be a period of adjustment. Luca has been there since, was it the 2nd of Feb? The trade got made. Joe would know that better than me. Might have been the 4th of Feb, something like that. But it's still 2 months for this guy to have integrated into the team, one of the best players in the world. And we really, there has been some moments of massive concern, but there's also moments where it's like, wow, if these guys can put it together, we're competitive against anyone. And it was, the chat might have an issue with this, but it didn't feel like that with AD. That's for sure. So, we're in, like, Houston don't want to play us. I'll give you the tip right now. They saw enough yesterday to go, wow, these boys are pretty good. And yeah, fine, you might look at the list in its entirety, or we call AFL list, or the squad in its entirety, Gerald, and man for man, we might not be as strong as Houston. But when you got those top three boys, and then you got others sprinkling in there with Rui and DFS and the like, you're a chance in the NBA. And that's the thing. We really, if we can position ourselves well, Gerald, Joe really is the one that's sort of harped on about this on this channel a lot, and just how important it is to get it to that second seed. Man, if we can get that, then it really, really opens up. Obviously, the big hurdle in the West for us is going to be the OKC boys. But geez, don't we match up well against other teams? And I just don't care anymore when you've got a guy like Luca who carried a team last year, Kyrie or not, to the Western Conference Finals. You're always in with a chance. The guy's just a winner. Hasn't played perfect ball at times. We know that, but he's also averaging over 30 points. I mean, it's crazy when you talk about players that, you can find all these faults, but the guy scores, 30 plus points a game, 8, 9 assists, 10 rebounds. I mean, it's insane stats that you start taking for granted. So I'm really happy with the win, Gerald, man. Like, I thought Rockets, they were licking their lips too. We had a bad loss against Bulls. So we keep bouncing back. JJ, to his credit, obviously coached a lot better in the last game than prior games. So yeah, man. No, I'm positive, but yeah, it's a crucial little last stretch here. We know that we don't want to slip down, obviously, any further. We've got an opportunity now to leapfrog Denver, or have we with that result? I'd have to double check that, Gerald. If we're in
Well, right now, let me go ahead and bring it up right now.
Yep.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Mark, aka Xbox, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. Truly appreciate it. I'll bring the updated playoff seedings and then also the standings. I'll start off first with the standings right here, coming up right at you here. It is to answer your question. Let me go ahead and show this on the screen here. Go ahead and see if I can blow it up a little bit more. It is, of course, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are in first place in the Western Conference. Houston Rockets are next at 49-27. Then it gets a little interesting with the loss in double overtime tonight, where Nikola Jokic got a 60-point, well, I think it was 62-point triple-double.
Far out, man.
Still wasn't enough as the Minnesota Timberwolves got the victory. They are only a half game ahead of the Los Angeles Lakers, tied in the loss column, if you see right there, at 29 losses. Let me go ahead and even sharpen up even more. So yes, a really important loss for both the Los Angeles Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. Let's see if I get that even sharper there.
Man,
See what I can do. Yeah, it's still there. There's a little bit better. So yes, there it is right there. 47-29. The Denver Nuggets have 46-29. Right behind though, Mark. Just 2 losses behind are tomorrow's opponent. Another big game for the Lakers, the Golden State Warriors at number 5. Memphis Grizzlies, they are falling on hard times. They fired their coach on Friday. Obviously, they lost the Lakers over the weekend, as you and I both know. Memphis Grizzlies now finding themselves in 6th, tied with the Minnesota Timberwolves coming off that double overtime victory. The Clippers are in 8th as of now, barring the play-in, and then the Dallas Mavericks and Sacramento Kings bring up 9 and 10, with the Phoenix Suns now behind the 8 ball out of the playoffs. And as we told Kevin Durant, who's in the chat, they're having some issues as well. So I want to bring that to you guys as far as the seating is concerned. Let me go ahead and see if I can blow that up even a little bit more. There you go. Right now, see if we can bring that down a little bit there. There you go. I hope you guys can see that. It is the Thunder facing off against whoever the 8th seed is, whether it's through the plan. But right now, if it held true on the numbers, the Clippers would be the 8th team. And what are your thoughts right there? First of all, Thunder and the Clippers. Do you think, now mind you, the irony in all this is that the Clippers traded for essentially the base of what the Thunder is right now. Your thoughts on the Clippers and the Thunder if they should meet in round 1 of the playoffs, as it looks to be structured right now, barring a play-in team getting into the mix?
It's a non-contest. I'm sorry, I haven't seen enough from the Clippers, even with the fully fit squad, including Mr. Kawhi Leonard, who no doubt will take games off between now and playoffs anyway. Nah, I'm sorry. We can keep going on about OKC's lack of playoff experience, and that will come to bite at one stage or one game. But they did play the playoffs last year. I mean, so it's like they've got to go on a run at one stage. Boston's done it in the past. Yeah, they made finals, they lost it, but then they came back and won it last year. I mean, for me, I don't know if there was any odds given to OKC, I'd be, I'm a gamble responsibly. I'm a betting man. I'd be all over that like a rash. I mean, yeah, for me, no. Like OKC, they'd be licking their lips against the Clippers. OKC right now are worried about playing us. They're potentially worried about playing the boys in, Denver because of what Jokic can do and performances like tonight. But really, they'd be thinking with their fully fit squad, Chet and the boys there. Nah, sorry, Gerald is, yeah. Oh, well, I'm not sorry because I hate the Clippers. That's game over for me. I'd love to get Legends' thoughts on that, and then we're going to talk about Golden State versus Lakers, man, because that's turning into a bigger game as we go along. But did you have any thoughts on that, Legend, in terms of OKC playing? And g'day, Legend, my goat.
Let's just say the play-in scenario
Clippers
goes exactly for the favorites in that tournament, which would be Minnesota at number 7 and the LA Clippers at number 8. Let's just say the Sacramento Kings, the Dallas Mavericks, or the Phoenix Suns could not find their way through. Your thoughts on a matchup let's go with both of these seeds as far as I'm concerned, both of these games, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Houston Rockets, which I think would be a really, really competitive series, and the Clippers, in the irony of all ironies, facing off against the number 1 seed that they helped build themselves in OKC.
Man, this is gonna be an interesting playoff first round for the Clippers. Well, OKC in 5. That's all I'm gonna say for them. I'm gonna go OKC in 5. They're gonna be wrapped up pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure.
But
what about the other one? So what's the other one?
The Minnesota. Let's just say Minnesota wins its play-in, wins all the stuff, and then goes against the Houston Rockets at number 2. Let's just say that the seedings hold at this point in time. We could talk about all the scenarios, what if, what not, as we do on the shows all the time. Can the Lakers find their way through, et cetera, et cetera. But let's just say that the seedings hold as of now. a very interesting seeding, a very interesting playoff round. A inexperienced, for the most part, Van Vliet, Brooks, Adams provides some stability as far as that's concerned. But most of these guys are young players who have not sniffed a playoff, going against the Minnesota Timberwolves, trying to regain a lot of its mojo, coming off a season where they thought they were going to the finals themselves, Legend.
For Houston, I'm gonna say I don't think they're gonna get past that first round. I think the one thing we really saw in that Lakers game yesterday was the biggest weakness they got is that offensive side. If you notice, they had a lot of wide open threes that just couldn't hit one to save their life. If you're relying on Dylan Brooks to knock down some threes for you, and all that is, hope for you at that point. And it looks like they don't really have a go get me a bucket, man. You don't have somebody that can just say, "Hit the basketball, get me a bucket. I need 4 points. I need that. Go get it for me." They don't have that, and I think that's the biggest thing that exposed them. They're on the right track. I love their future, and I love their coach. The coach part is, to me, one of the strongest things that they got going on in the Houston Rockets right now. So I think if they can go get some better offense, come back better built next year with more offense on their end and a true person you can go to, I love that. I love their future at that point. This year, I don't really see it. I think they had a hell of a season. They play T-Wolves. They're going to probably lose. I'm going to probably lean to Timberwolves on that one, but I could see them pulling through. But I think the U probably going to play a big role at that point.
Edwards, going into the series, if it works out that way, would be the best player, Mark. But as we've talked about on this show, when it comes to Houston and OKC have an abundance of wings, something that virtually no other team in the NBA has. An abundance of 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", even to 6'10" guys with long arms can play the defensive end and really create some havoc out there. So if Edwards, it does face off against Houston or OKC, there's going to be a lot of defenders waiting for him on that end of the spectrum as well, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, to my point before, I mean, they're just so strong. Like, I know you can't play your full squad or your full list or whatever in playoffs, so that team will dwindle down to their best 8 or 9. But even so, OKC's best 8 or 9 are very, very strong. But at the same time, man, you got to give Timberwolves their credit. Like, they did make the Western Conference Finals last year. They had a pretty poor start to the year. They're having a more solid back end, and any team with Ant-Man and a couple of the other players that they do have that can generate scoring, like Randall and who's the Nick something?
Well, DiVincenzo.
Well, yeah. I mean,
the fighting. They call them the
day.
Fighting T-Wolves. How about that? Let's call them the Fighting T-Wolves.
And look, people don't like mentioning this guy, but Rudy can do a job, man. And I could see Rudy doing a job on a Şengün, or
I know you guys were all over the map on Randall coming off.
Yeah, look, Randall. Randall can be his own worst enemy, but at the same time, the guy can put up 30 points as well. Tonight he had a couple of funny moments late, but he did keep him in the game at times too, Gerald. And he has had a pretty good run of form over the last 15 or 20 games. I think he's been averaging between 25 and 30 points. So, we are a Lakers fan base here. So Randall's going to be much maligned to us. But, at the end of the day, they can do something, but there's no way I would favor them against OKC. The only team that I favor in the West right now against OKC is us. And that's because I'm a Laker fan and we have Luka and LeBron. That's the facts. I mean, yeah, we'll get there in a second. But the other one we do need to talk about is those boys that are coming from San Fran. Your boys there, man, they're flying at the moment.
As of now, after Golden State's victory,
what a trade.
They are in 5th place in the Western Conference. Your team right now, the Golden State Warriors, one of your 2 teams, Legend. Of course, Curry comes up with 12 threes, I believe, scores 52 points to get the victory. Again, the Lakers, we've stressed on this show how important it is to get as high a seed possible. maybe teams will try to be positioning where the Nuggets are currently at, because as we also will talk about the Lakers and the Warriors, as it is if the season ended today, the Lakers are only half game out of third, and that would put them in position against a fading team in the Memphis Grizzlies. So your thoughts, Legend, on this? The Lakers and the Warriors. The Lakers are confident. I know it's Warriors fans, the Warriors fans base, because of the rise since the Jimmy Butler trade, are really confident. And I've said it on many occasions on our chat. I understand that. I get that. But the Lakers repeatedly in recent years have been able to find a way to beat the Warriors. So we're one of the few teams, I think, right now that we aren't really scared of the Warriors and how good they're playing, because we've always seemed to have an answer for them. Although tomorrow we may not have an answer. We may not. We'll see. Warriors will be coming on a back-to-back. The Lakers getting ready to start a back-to-back. So we'll see how that fits out tomorrow. Your thoughts on the Lakers-Warriors series, and then also as well, do the Nuggets really have a sweet way to start the playoffs against the fading Grizzlies if the season ended today?
I'll do the Grizzlies and Nuggets first. I would say I would say the Nuggets will win that series, but I might give them a chance to kind of get their acts together, because of it kind of feels like it's Jokic and Murray. That's it. Kind of what it feels like right now. And it looks like to me that organization really needs to retool that bench and come back with a better unit. I haven't never understood why their front office has let so many good pieces just walk out the door and didn't try to retool it. I haven't never understood why Denver did that. But you got the best player in the world right now. Retool your team and you'll be just fine. So that's what Denver needs to do. I think they'll beat Memphis with no problem. Memphis looks like it got some internal issues going on, and it showed when they fired the head coach in the middle at the very almost time for playoff. That's unknown. It's kind of weird to do that. That was to me the first sign of, okay, they threw, get them out of here. This Phoenix Sun, get them out of here. They got problems. So I'm expecting they'll take care of Memphis in the playoff. Warriors and Lakers, like you said, Gerald, much as I hate to say it too, they had our number for the last couple of years. It just haven't been a good matchup. We couldn't do nothing with LeBron and AD. I am curious to see how it looks without AD. That's my little optimism. I'm like, okay, AD ain't here now. What you look like without AD now against us now?
Good
To
point.
me, a little more balance.
We got Luka, man. We look better, man.
But they got Luka though. That's the part I feel like they got Luka.
But AD was always the answer as far as the size underneath. Yeah. The Warriors never had an answer for AD. And I will always say he had just monster games against them, seemingly almost at will, time and time again, because Kevon Looney, as hard as he works, did not have an answer for him. And you guys have a rookie center right now in Quentin Post, who's really done well. All compliments to him. But in the midst of a playoff run, how much you're going to rely on a promising rookie center at this point in time to provide you size that you need. So, but the thing is, the Lakers don't have Anthony Davis anymore. It is more guard and perimeter oriented, a similar structure to what the Golden State Warriors have. So shooting will be a factor. I understand. More importantly, shooting from the outside and who might shoot better, Legend.
Pretty much what it's going to come down to. And that's my biggest thing I look at going into this game tomorrow. Kind of gives an idea of what this team looks like against this newly led Lakers team. I actually feel kind of crazy, but I actually feel better going against them with AD out the picture. I don't have to worry about that long defender hanging down at the bottom. I feel better with him gone. I'm like, okay, this is better. I'll take this all day over Anthony Davis being there. So, yeah, I'll take this swap. Might still lose it, but I feel better going in it. Personally, I already know who our two guys go guard. LeBron, Luka, we got our two guys. We know go take care of them. You ain't going to slow them down. You ain't going to stop them, but you slow them down a little bit. I kind of got an idea who they're going to probably go with. So I feel better. We didn't have nobody deal with Anthony Davis. It was just, hey, man, just to go out there and try, man.
That's an interesting take, bro. Like, you're essentially saying you feel better that we got Luka than AD. I don't know. For me, Legend, like, I understand the logic, but we'll probably show you. Luca's going to have to show you and the Warriors what we're all
We'll have to
about, I
show
think,
them.
in the next game because, yeah, I mean, 80 is long gone, bro. And for those games that he played well against you, he played poorly against others. So I don't know. Yeah, for me, nah, we're a better team now. So let's see what the three-headed monster can do versus the two-headed monster that we used to have. Now that AR's really stepped up. But yeah, I mean, on the flip side, we got to worry about your boys too. Like, I mean, what a trade. Jimmy's brought obviously a bit of a momentum to the team. It's been an unreal run since he's been there. Really, like we talk about how we've gone on some great streaks and what have you. You guys have done that, have done just as well, legends. So where you're sort of looking at it, an interesting point of view about how we're going to match up against you. We feel the same now. How are we going to go against Jimmy and that team? And the threat that he now poses, and look at what Steph did tonight. Steph on his day still can do absolutely anything he wants. So it's a massive game for both teams, and we probably both weren't thinking that a couple months ago. Hey, that this game was going to be so important, but yeah, I mean it's Thursday for me that game. But is it tomorrow for you guys? I don't know what the hell is
It's
going on with
tomorrow.
the
Yes,
timeline.
it is
It's
tomorrow
tomorrow.
for
Okay.
us. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, because is it past midnight for you now? Is it? Oh, I don't know what's going on.
No,
But
it's 11
anyway,
o'clock right now. About
okay,
Yeah,
15
it's
okay.
minutes
midnight
ago.
on my side.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
East Coast. That's right. Yes.
psych out. Well, but long story short, big game. Yeah, can't wait for that game. But we'll see what happens. I still think that this is the kind of game that Luca relishes. So hopefully we see that from our Lakers perspective. Legend.
I just think
Should
when it
be a
comes
good
right
game.
down to it, if the Laker, whoever falls in love with the three, I think that's problematic because if you're not hitting from the outside, both teams have a chance to go ahead and get shots in close in the paint because there are no dominating presence inside for each team. If the Lakers understand what they do best with LeBron penetrating and Luca also penetrating and getting into the key, they can do some real damage because they don't have the perimeter, the post players to really scare them or fend them off, and vice versa with Golden State. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a very interesting series if it lines up that way. But again, for the Lakers, they're only a half game out of third place with the loss by Denver. When it comes right down to it, at times, as you saw tonight, when Russell Westbrook is out there, it's almost like it's 6-on-4 for the other team. So it worked out that way at the end.
Thanks,
As
Russ.
yes, as two mistakes
My
in a
man.
row by Russell Westbrook cost their team. But we can't go too far. LeBron, threw that game the other day against the Bulls, so we won't
Let's
go
see what
too
Russell
far on
Westbrook
that.
did tonight.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Westbrook has a
to be honest, it
history
was
of that.
strange that he was on that late though. Like I know Murray was out or whatever, but I wouldn't have. It didn't, with the way Joker was playing. I think maybe it was the foul consideration because Joker was on 5 fouls pretty much that whole last quarter and into both overtimes. But it was strange that Russ was out there that late. I mean, such a liability in those late game settings. So suck it, man. I couldn't care less, to be
Yeah,
honest.
they are leaning even more heavily on Nikola Jokic, and can he handle that kind of workload in the playoffs? We'll have to see. Aaron Gordon is shooting better from the three than at any time in his career, but exactly what kind of Denver Nuggets team we'll see in the playoffs, it's kind of a little bit hard to tell. But again, we'll see how this all maps itself out because the Lakers still have a chance to get up to the 2 seed. And we'll find out from there. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there on the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference, a little bit more set in stone, guys, because the Cavaliers look like they're going to hold off the Boston Celtics. I don't think they're going to lose that conference seed.
No.
They're going to go ahead and most likely play. Well, if you still have faith in the Heat, maybe they can go ahead and get by the Bulls and go ahead and try to find a way in the Eastern Conference. But your Hawks might have something to say about that. The Magic, who've been on a downward trend for this part of the calendar year, I don't know exactly where they stand. They still cannot produce enough offense on a consistent basis. Legend, let me hear your thoughts on the Hawks. Again, they would be most in line, or the one that's most likely to face off against the Cavaliers in a 1-8 showdown if the season ended today and the play-in went as accordingly. Your thoughts? Risa Shea, as mentioned, had a really good game the other day, but today just couldn't. He's still going through some rookie things, finding consistency for him. So I don't know how much you could rely on him in the playoff format, but I know that Dyson Daniels is going to be a key for you guys. Man, when Jalen Johnson comes back next year, Atlanta could be a team on the rise, and a lot of that is due to Dyson Daniels. Trae Young, of course, but Dyson Daniels keying your defense as well.
I would definitely say our rookie is showing improvement, getting better and better. Gotta get that consistency part fixed, but showing signs of improvement, confidence. Man, I was so proud of him what he did the other night. That was really good. Even though he didn't play the best tonight, it's just the growth part is what I want to see. Just seeing him continue to grow and get more confidence in his game, and that's what we need. If they're gonna keep Trae Young and still try to build towards something, then we need our number one pick to continue to get better and continue to get more and more confidence. And yeah, we're gonna have Cleveland and probably gonna be going bye-bye in about 5 or maybe even 4, but make the playoffs. And I'm satisfied. I'll take that. I'll be in Atlanta to go to the game in person. I'll be
Sick,
there
man.
for that playoff game.
You got to take some pics, bro. That'd be wicked.
Definitely.
You never know with your boys, though. You never know with Trae. I mean, he stepped up there. He's a playoff performer. You wonder if you had a really good team, what he could do. Hey, like he has had some pretty awesome playoff games, but yeah, you would suspect that they wouldn't, beat Cleveland in a 7-game series. But fingers crossed, man. I always keep an eye out on the Hawks because I know you love them. But
give me one win. I'm satisfied.
Yeah, all right, I'll take that. But yeah, the East does look, a bit bottlenecked there, really, with the Cavs and Boston. For me, it's a bit of a drop off after that. Like Knicks, Knicks is always an interesting one, because if you do get your best couple of players playing really well in those games, Cat and Brunson, then it does give you a chance in, pretty much any series. But yeah, I don't know, Joel. For me, it looks pretty clear cut that it's either going to be the Cavs or Boston that come out of the East.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about this. So, again, Cavaliers, most likely if the season ended today, it would be against the Hawks. The Magic would be against the Celtics. Those are pretty definitive victories. I think that the Cavaliers against the Heat, the Bulls, or the Hawks, or the Magic, sorry, Legend, would probably not have too much of a problem with any of those teams. Same thing for the Celtics. It looks like it to be a collision course. Like you said, do you take the Knicks, who are going to win over 50 games at this point? Do you take them seriously at all to pull off an upset against Boston or Cleveland in the playoffs? Legend, I'll start with you.
I don't. They had a pretty season, been good. I don't. I feel like they need something else in order to make them a complete true contender. They on the right pace, but I feel like they're missing something. So I'm gonna say look nice, look pretty, but it's gonna end. I really think I'm with Mark. I think it's just gonna come down to Cleveland and Boston is what it's gonna come down to go to that finals. And that's to me the best part about being in the East versus the West. I'm not gonna have to fight for my life to get to the Western Conference Finals, while everybody in the West is killing themselves trying to get there.
Mark,
Yeah, that's
what do
so
you
true.
think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great
The
point.
Knicks.
Yeah, it's sort of what I was alluding to before. But look, the Knicks, they could obviously win a game or two against your Celtics or your Cavs, particularly at home, MSG, big crowd. But I don't know, man. Like the squads in isolation, like, yeah, you got a decent team or, a couple of players there in New York, but Cavs have a way better squad, and so do Boston. So as much as I hate talking about Boston or even thinking about them, man, they're a real threat right now. So let's see what happens. I mean, I'd love for the Cavs to knock them out if it does happen in the Eastern Conference Finals, because the last thing we want is Boston getting to a NBA Finals. Obviously, we'd love to play them and beat them in an NBA Finals, but we don't want to take that risk either. So yeah, I don't know. I'm the same with Legend. It looks pretty top heavy to me, the East. Even teams like Detroit, Milwaukee, I don't know, man.
Sports Baby's team, which Indiana, who right now have the
yeah,
4th
Sports
seed,
Baby.
they
Who's
just clinched a
missing in
non-play
action.
play-in spot, so they are in the
Yeah.
playoffs for real.
Yeah,
Nice.
good for Sports Baby, but at the same time, man, he knows he's realistic. That's why he's here and always hanging out with Laker people because that's a losing ball club and they're not going to go anywhere. So eat it, Sports Baby. If you can hear me, you're not in the chat today because Joe's not on, but that's okay. I got your boy. Um, nah, shout out to Sports Baby. Hopefully he listens on the flip side. Probably won't be happy with any of those comments. But nah, look, it's just
Oh,
too
he'll let
top
you
heavy
know
for
that
me.
too.
Yeah, I know. I'll
Yeah.
get the text within seconds,
That's the
but
thing. Yes, I'll see it. I'll see it in the chat. Yes, these two go back at
and
it
then we'll go
all
back
day
together for
long.
like 6 hours straight. But no, look, yeah, East. I don't know, man. East it looks like a bit of a fait accompli unless there's a real big upset that it's going to be your Boston or it's going to be your Cavs, and unfortunately, given the reputation, a Boston. Let's go there. Boston versus Cavs, Eastern Conference Finals. Right now, man. I mean, you've got a winning record with the Cavs, but history and the players on the pitch or the court probably you give Boston just a small edge. But then you factor in the home court. If Cavs have got that, what do you think about that? You watch the Eastern Conference a lot more than me, Legend. What do you think about that matchup, man? Eastern Conference Final, Cavs, Boston. Is it Boston?
I'm going with Boston. I'm gonna go with Boston to win that series and probably 6. Could potentially go 7, depending on what Cleveland does with Dominic Mitchell and all them. But it's gonna be a really good series between those two.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a fight for that.
There's some sick players on that court. Hey, even when I watch Cleveland at times, I'm like, what? You got Mitchell, you got Garland, and then you got like Levert, and then you got the big boys there too. Like, that's a pretty sick team they got going there. And Hunter, man, your boy Hunter from the Hawks, bro. I was like, this dude's sick. I'd love to see him play. He had a wicked game earlier in the year against the Lakers. I'm like, man, Hunter's really developed in the last few years, and now he's on a championship contender. So he can be a factor, man. Like, because he's a really good 3-point shooter. So fingers crossed that that doesn't actually happen, and the Cavs can beat them. But yeah, we'll see what happens out there in the East, Gerald. But as you know, our focus is generally what's going on in the West, and it just feels like for certainly as long as I've watched basketball with a lot of intent, that the West is just being so much stronger than the East. Obviously East teams go on and win the NBA championship, but man, the West is strong. When you got a team like Warriors in 5th, it's crazy.
So I'll ask you this: OKC is in our chat, depending on who you speak to, because our chat have two varying opinions, Legend, on this. And once again, it is NBA observations right here in the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate Legend taking the time very early in the morning for him. Also, as well, Marky Mark, aka Xbox, here as well. He is ready and set to go on his walk, so I'll make sure we won't stay on too much longer.
It's
But I
all
wanted
right.
to go ahead. I wanted to go ahead and ask you your thoughts on this, Legend. When it comes right down to it, OKC, I think you and I are more on the side, and Sean is as well, Magic Man, is more on the side of we take OKC seriously about what they can do in the Western Conference. A lot of people in our chat, for whatever reasons, don't take them quite as seriously. They don't think they've gone far. They don't think they have enough playoff experience. They think it's SGA, and they don't think that supporting cast will show up when it counts. I've seen all the various reasons, and to their credit, they could say that could be the case because in a lot of cases they didn't step up when they needed to in that second round against Dallas. But man, they are heading into the playoffs with the best record in the NBA. Outside, unless they lose 2 times to the Lakers upcoming and just really just fall off the map, they will have the best record in the NBA, giving them the home court advantage throughout the playoffs. And for a team that's young, that's deep, that's athletic, that can guard, questionable outside of SGA offensively, but still, they have a lot to prove to a lot of people upcoming in the playoffs, Legend.
I would say, And it's something I want to do a video about before I go to bed tonight. The people sleep in Oklahoma. I understand. I can get where they're coming from, but this is not the same team from last year at all. They remind me a lot of that 2015 to 16 Golden State Warriors that won 73 games. If they hit that 70 mark, to me, this team is going to the finals. You don't hit 70 mark and not make it to the finals. The last two teams that hit 70 marks, they made it to the finals. And that's what I'm looking at at this point as well. To hit 70, you're special. You're not a regular team. You're beyond regular. You're special.
Yeah.
And I can get people being a little iffy about them because of the youth and look at what they did last year. But this team came back better. They retooled. They got better. They learned from that mistake. This team is the real. I think this team is the real deal. And the people who are sleeping on,
well said.
If this team go out here and forgive me for my language, they go out here and whoop your team's ass, you're gonna be looking crazy. You slept on them. You slept on them.
Yeah.
I'm already telling every team that plays them. If you go against them, they got home court, you better win one of them first two games or this series is over. It's gonna be over with very quick. You have to win one of them two games. If they go to their house and win 1 and 2 in their house, their series might be over for 5. I believe they're gonna win one in your house. You got to win one in their house. Ain't gonna be easy. So I think
it's the way they're playing this year too, Legend, man. It sort of like, again, don't want to talk about Celtics too much, but remember Celtics last year? It felt like every time you look, Legend, they were like 15, 20 points up, 25 points up. Like, and this was like in second quarters going into thirds. You know, they might have a little bit of a drop off and, you know, the lead would come back to 5, 10 points, but they'd inevitably go on and win. Man, every time I look at OKC, it's like that. It's like they're 15, 20 points up early in games, just cruising. You know, SJ, you know, he'll turn up for a quarter because he needs to, does whatever. Like, they just are playing, like you said, man, they are playing such good basketball that you can't be ignored. Like, you've got to get over the hump at one stage. So unless you're, you know, prepared for them to, you know, get over that hump, you're going to think that they're always losing. You know, that's not sort of how life works. Yeah, they lost it last year in a tough series, but nah, man, they're like, for me, they're almost the favorites to win the whole thing. That's how crazy they're playing right now. And when you've got a player like SGA, it's like, you know, SGA, to his credit, has ascended to one of the top 3 players in the world. So, you know, it's not like you've just got a good team. You've got one of the best players in the world, if not the best player, who's going to get MVP, rightfully or wrongfully. He will get it. You have to give the guy with that kind of record and that kind of scoring and output that he's doing the MVP. Sorry, Joker, you might be the best player in the world, but it's going to go to SGA, man. So, look, I don't know. I know there's a couple of other guys on the panel and what have you, Gerald, and you can maybe name them that probably don't see OKC as a big threat. But I think me and Ledger are on the same page with that, man. They're the number one
that's
threat.
That's our audience too. Some see them as a big threat. Some see them as a team that still has a lot left to prove and don't measure
they've got nothing to prove to me. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off.
I just think when I said it earlier that I think Houston and OKC have an abundance of players they can throw out at any top player in the league, whether it's Jokic. If you want to go for size, both teams can throw size at both of those teams. OKC and Houston can throw size at a Jokic. They can throw wings and guards that can defend at Murray. In the case of LA, they can throw size and also guards that can guard Austin, Luka, and LeBron. It's just up to those 3 guys if they can break through that defense and really make the OKC Thunder work on that end, and then make sure that they themselves rely on only SGA and the rest of the crew, the supporting cast, really can't get it done. It just, with those 2 teams, OKC and Houston, the thing is you have to be concerned about, especially with OKC, is just their depth and how many bodies that can really defend on that side of the ball. Legend can really, Mark as well, can really, really defend. Legend, that's what concerns me with OKC. But like to the detractors, I will give them credit. Offensively, they have to get it done as well, Legend.
They do. They got an offense to get it done, and I do want to see how they look when the pressure start to come to SGA can't do it by itself. So I do want to see what Williams and what the rest of the cast is going to end up doing. But I think they're going to really show the world this year. I think they remind me so much of my 15 to 16 Golden State Warriors team. I remember Charles Barkley, all of them used to say, you can't win through jump shot. We did that, proved them wrong. And I think they're going to do the same thing. They're going to prove a lot of people wrong this year. I really think this is going to be that year.
He's been proven wrong so many times. It's now comedy.
Yeah, wrong.
It will just exactly. So
no, they're a threat, man. Gerald, just to round that off, they're a big threat, OKC, and anyone that's gonna win this championship from the West is going to go through them. Could be wrong, it could be an absolute disaster, but they're licking their lips just as much as other teams in this league. And at one stage, imagine being one of the like an SGA and bringing a chip to their first ever chip, man. You know what I mean? Like that sort of history. It wasn't the same with Warriors. I know they'd won a chip previously, Legend, but it felt like, they broke all that history, of years of not winning it, like that motivates players too. And you can see that in the way SGA is playing. And I hate the fact that they got rid of Giddey, but they did bring in Caruso, who can
really
assist on and Hardenstein, man. You can't tell me that the New York boys wouldn't want Hardenstein out there with Cat. Like Hardenstein's a wicked player and he's severely underrated, So we don't have to talk about OKC all night, but they're a great team and we shouldn't undersell them, in my opinion.
So tomorrow it is the Lakers and the Warriors. We'll have it for you here, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And then, of course, the post game right there for you afterwards. We'll go ahead and get you updated what's going on with the NBA. And, of course, also as well, bring you all of our post game thoughts and feelings on that. Legend, again, your team, I don't think getting into that 2-3-4 situation, they still have a chance with 7 games left. But everything... If I say that everything has to go right for the Lakers in order to get to the 2 seed, everything would really have to go right for your team to get to that spot because of the fact that they are 2 games back in the loss column. So everything I think would have to go right. 4th is attainable. 3rd is attainable. I just think 2nd, I think you guys are pretty much out of the running on that. I think if Houston falters, one of the either Denver or the Lakers will probably hop over them if that was the case and Houston falters down the stretch. Your thoughts on what the Golden State Warriors fans are looking at as we head into tomorrow's very crucial game with 7 games left. The Warriors heading into the crypt against the Lakers.
Definitely looking at an opportunity to where we can sneak up to get that 4 seed and pull in further and further away from that play-in situation. And also, we're looking at an opportunity to have home court advantage going into round 1 to playoff. That would be incredible if we were to get that part. I think the 2 seed, that's long gone. We got no shot for that. 4, that's possible. 3, I feel like we're gonna need some help with 3. We're gonna need some other people.
Because you have to jump over 2 teams,
right?
And I don't know about your tiebreakers with those 2 teams, the Lakers or those 3 teams, if you consider the Rockets, if they fall on hard times as well. So I don't know your tiebreakers with those teams. I know that the Lakers, if they win against Golden State, I think they even already have the tiebreaker. But if they win against Houston, they'll have the tiebreaker against every one of those teams. So, Mark, let me bring it to you. How important is tomorrow's game against the Warriors?
Oh, man, it feels like do or die at this stage, really. Like, particularly listening to a guy like Joe, who just keeps on imparting how important it is to get the 2nd seed, to actually then go on and win this thing. Every game has to be a win. And, to their credit, the Warriors have been flying, man. So they're looking at us in that way as well. If they beat us, then they're thinking, okay, we can go ahead of you. And like Legend says, get that 4th, get that 3rd spot. 2nd might be a push too far because you'd probably have to rely on Houston and Denver and us, dropping too many games thereafter. But yeah, man, it's as big as it gets. It feels like they don't have final games as such in basketball. You have final series, but it feels like a final, man. It feels like a cup final in at a top European soccer league or something like that. It's as big as it gets, and you'd expect a massive crowd to be there for the game. Obviously, both whenever we play Warriors or they play us in either stadium, feels like it's sort of a 50-50 fan base. Such well supported teams. So yeah, man, that's what I was saying before. Luca, and a lot of the panelists have talked about this as well, but he's got that Kobe mentality, and it's games like that against the Warriors where we need to see it come out, man. And LeBron as well. LeBron's a killer at times too, and they are stepping up. Rui, etc. Man, no, it's as big as it gets, man. I honestly can't wait. And is it? Can I clarify? It's Wednesday for you guys. The game
Yes,
is
it
on
is.
Wednesday.
Yes, it is
Okay,
Wednesday night for us.
Thursday for
It
me.
is what,
Yeah,
Thursday for you.
yeah.
I'm checking out as far as the
You
Golden
right
State
about
LA matches up this year. The Lakers won.
I didn't want
One.
meetings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we won
So we
Christmas,
have the
remember?
tiebreaker. Yeah, tough. So we have the tiebreaker against the Golden State Warriors, even if we lose tomorrow. But that would mean that the Golden State Warriors right now going into that game would have to not only win enough just to tie the Lakers, but they have to get one game ahead because Lakers own the tiebreaker against them. But obviously, as Lakers fans, we don't want that to happen. Legend obviously feels otherwise, but I truly respect him being here as well. But again,
yeah.
the playoffs, they're around the corner. I wanted to get you guys prepped up because that's what we're looking at. I know it just creeped up on us. We were going game by game by game. Well, the playoffs are around the corner. When you go to NBA.com and the standings, you no longer see the standings. You see the playoff matches. So they're in playoff mode.
Yeah.
So we got to get in playoff mode as well. Yes, best we do have the tiebreaker. The only one we have not had a tiebreaker against yet established is Houston, and we have a chance still to do that as well before the end of the season. And of course, Oklahoma City. But again, that one is not a chance as well. But we still have a chance to get to the second seed. It is a very slight chance, but we'll see what happens there. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break NBA observations. But Legend and Mark, I truly want to thank both of you for being here. Just any parting wisdom, Legend, and also a shout out on your channel before we head on out and get you over to Mark.
Just want to say, hey, let's play all time. You guys enjoy the madness. This is like our March Madness now. So enjoy the March Madness, enjoy the good, April Madness, enjoy the good games, and check out my channel. I'm definitely talk a lot of Lakers as well, a lot of NBA playoff. I'm actually gonna bring a Laker fan on next week to talk about his squad, and then we're gonna also talk a lot about the playoff and kind of be following along as it go. I'm probably gonna do a bracket reveal and kind of do my entire bracket for all the sides once we know everything don't settle down. But check me out. I got sports. I got Net Sports Media. Check me out. Just got added today into a content creator portfolio today. So definitely check me out.
Congratulations on that, Legend. I'm wishing
Nice,
you continued success with your show.
name,
Truly
too.
appreciate it. Mark, I just thought we keep it around an hour today just to get everybody caught up to
All right.
speed on what's going on. I mean, we're
I didn't wanna
longer
leave you,
than
mate.
virtually any Lakers podcast out there, even at an hour. So
That's true.
we
But
spoiled these
just,
guys.
if you want to
rotten
go a
out
little
there.
bit longer, I'm good for it.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I think
Thameless, thank you. They must truly appreciate the compliment. I just trying to get everybody
man.
caught up. I know it's not just all Lakers on this show. We want to make sure everybody knows what's going on with the NBA. But Mark, any last NBA observations? Because tomorrow it'll be the Lakers, it'll be the Warriors, it'll be you and SB fighting. It'll probably be Joe and John fighting again about that issue we're not really going to talk about right now because we've talked so much about it. Yeah, exactly. Don't go there. Well, the only thing I'll say is this. Okay,
Don't
if you're
start
MJ
Legend
or
on
LeBron,
it.
well, okay,
You'll
I'll
too.
just say this. And I got John. I respect a lot, but he's as a younger individual. I didn't like the fact that he kept calling and referring to Jordan fans as casuals. I don't
Was a
think
bit harsh.
that's that is a bit harsh because in the end, as much as I like to say we're professionals and fact is we're not being paid millions of dollars doing this. We're not even close to that. We
No,
have a love for the game and we have experience watching the game for decades in some cases. And I'll just say this. If that's the case and you're referring to people who prefer Jordan over LeBron as casuals, I would say we're all casuals if that's the case. Your classification, how could you classify us as casuals when you are not being paid professionally to do it yourself? And you got a little heated. It got a little unprofessional at times, as you heard Legend, as you heard Xbox. And I'll just say this: whatever your choice is, I as I welcome the passion as I knew it would, just this is what you guys wanted. You wanted the passion from each. Just celebrate the fact that they were both willing to go out there and express themselves with that passion for who they think the greatest of all time truly is. And I'll just leave it at that. But it is Jordan.
Yeah.
But be that as it
Great
may,
point.
Mark, any last thoughts on the NBA observations that are out there on the NBA as we head into the final games of the season? The season has flown on by, and I'd just like to hear your thoughts before we head on out.
Yeah, look, not too much from me. I'm glad we had Legend here tonight because it's such a big game for our two teams coming up. So, yeah, I mean, that's, when I'm looking, I guess, at the, what's to come, that's just my focus now. I don't even care about the games after it. Everything's got to be about Golden State Warriors and beating them, because if we don't beat them, that's really going to put us on a little bit of a back foot. I'll just quickly shout out to a couple of people in the chat, Thane, Tough, JY, Best League, BC.
Tough is like, no more
Rapper.
Broad Jordan stuff.
Yeah, no, I just want to go there. That's how I felt yesterday as well.
Are you sure you guys don't want a
Maybe.
round
No,
3?
I'm good.
No, we're done. We're done, baby.
Okay,
And
all right,
unfortunately, John, I think we're all on Jordan's bandwagon
Okay.
here, so we
All
won't
right,
even
all
go
right.
there. But
We'll see if that short or that video trends. If that shorter video trends big time, we'll see it. But I don't
Michael
think it
Warren's
will.
so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we expressed our opinions, and that's a
I
debate we
think the
don't have
thing
to pick
is,
up
you
for a
just,
while.
one thing I will quickly touch on about it is, I just hope guys like that can appreciate other players' greatness,
Right.
because look at a dude, like I said in the chat tonight, Joker's gone for 60 odd points, man, in a losing effort. Like, when I was watching him, I'm like, is this NBA 2K? This guy can just do whatever he wants when he wants, man. If he just had a decent team, surely they'd actually win more chips. But and then on the flip side, look at Steph. Steph's gone 12 for 20, man. He's 12 3-pointers in a game, bro. Like, like, for whatever
And
these
those names you mentioned, Curry and Jokic, those names in recent weeks, those names have been passed off by some of our. No, those two are not in the greatest discussion.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
I
no,
just
no,
don't look at.
no.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm like,
appreciate
okay,
players. Hey,
it's
yeah,
all a
I
matter of
just,
perspective. It's all a matter of
yeah,
perspective.
and that's just, I just hope that that people that are just so passionate about Jordan or LeBron can see greatness in other players, man. Because at the end of the day, and this, at the end of the day, this is a team sport as well. I think sometimes we do forget that with how much we isolate superstars in basketball. We've all played, I played basketball at an okay level, and yeah, obviously there was dudes on the team that were better than me, bigger guys or what have you. But man, they relied on me too. So it's a team game. And yeah, let's put that one to bed. But yeah, as I said, shout out to Legend. Can't wait for the game. Actually, I think we're getting confused with the timelines, but ironically, it's Wednesday at nearly 5 p.m. for me here in the afternoon, where for you it's quite early in the morning. And so the game's Thursday for you, but it's Friday in Australia, guys. So for any of the Australians watching, like Jeremy, shout out to you, Goat. That's Friday in Australia, and I've got that day off, Gerald. So man, do not let me down, Lakers. Taking the day off for that reason. Well, not really, but that's technically what I'm going to call it for. And man, I'm going to be shattered if we
Well,
don't win.
that's a concern to me. Let's just say theoretically, Legend and Mark, that they do beat the Golden State Warriors. They've got the New Orleans Hornets, who have decided to rest Zion and CJ for the rest of the season. that might be some of the worst news for the Lakers because you've seen Legend, and I love the fact that you don't ridicule us as an audience or a base for it, but it's the thing where teams play down to their competition,
Right.
and we've seen that as of late with the Lakers. Can they keep their focus, or will they decide, oh, it's a back-to-back, let's go rest Luka, let's go rest LeBron, let's go rest this person, and have the Milwaukee nightmare all over again? So
that's what I was wondering if they're going to do that because I wonder if JJ going to say, well, they ain't playing. So
you
LeBron,
know what?
take the night off.
Joe will tell you they better not, and I would say they better not. I would say right now you're not. The Lakers are in the best interest to get the highest seed possible. I just think the fact that they are a better home team, a substantially better home team than road team, I think it equates to that. I think it's in their best interest to go ahead and keep doing the best they can to get the highest seed possible. And I'll just leave it at that. But
Gerald, can we just quickly best league, man? Best league's great. I love his contribution.
Oh yeah, best league's a great guy. Yes.
But his call here, I mean, Jokic can't defend. That is the reason they will not win more chips. I mean, that's laughable stuff. I mean,
well, that's the thing here that's always held against him, Mark. And we talked about people over the past few weeks when even Jokic's name is mentioned in these greatest of all time conversations. That's the thing that will always hold him back is his inability.
What are you talking about?
To play a high level defense. Well, then that's the thing with Luka.
Averages a triple double.
Well, I understand that, but I'm just saying.
This league's all about offense, Gerald. So it's like.
The thing is, I think it's the same thing with Luka. When Luka, at his days wane at the end of his career, where will he be put in the pantheon of the greatest of all time? A lot of people will, whether you think it's right or not right, like Jokic, hold his defensive abilities against him, like Steph, Legend. You're as a Golden State fan, obviously a big fan of Steph. Steph is one of he's the greatest shooter of all time. But as far as the greatest player of all time in that debate, what often gets held against him as far as what he does with the other thing, his defense right there. So, Mark, it's again, when you have that conversation and the debate years down the road, where will guys like Jokic, where will guys like Luka, where will guys like Steph be placed in that pantheon? Because guys like Kobe, guys like Jordan, and to an extent LeBron as well, played for many years in their career at a high level on both ends of the floor. That's what I think what it comes down to. So
I don't know, man. I don't see the game like that at all. Hey, I just can't see the game like that. I can just break it down like this. Like, who was his direct opponent tonight? Okay, say it was Randall. Maybe it was Gobert, but Randall's gone for 27 points. Joker's gone for 62. Like, okay.
Gobert is won 4 defensive player of the years?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you're a net positive around 30 points on your opponent, and we haven't even spoken about assists, I don't know.
Again, I'm not arguing how great a player.
I feel that's way too harsh on Joker.
But I know, but Best,
that's my opinion.
But Best is not the only one that will say that. I mean, there are a lot of people. Luke, I mean,
sure.
People in our audience here that still continuously beat on Austin and Luka for their defense. And I'm not saying they're unjust in doing so, because it's just their opinion, and you have to respect it, because in some cases, it's right. It has gone off the rails defensively for the Lakers in recent weeks on some occasions. And part of the reason you could put right on that. But again, history will go ahead and sort all these things out, but it is all a matter of opinion on who we think greatest of all time is. But it's always a great conversation as we go ahead now. I know you guys have been much more civil.
Pau Gasol. Let's just
put in Pau Gasol there too. Yes, absolutely. Yes, cannot forget when it comes to when you're here, you got to always include Pau Gasol. He's the greatest Grizzly. I will give you that.
Sure.
That's No one can. Sorry, Ja. Can't argue with that.
Yeah. Can't argue with that. Facts.
Brilliant player.
But I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. We'll be back for me, not for these guys, tomorrow It will be the Lakers against the Golden State Warriors. Go ahead and join us on playback.tv's Lakers Fast Break. And then also as well for the post game right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Joe will not be here tomorrow. He will again be at Disneyland, as he stated on the air. Your mileage may vary on the Mickey Mouse jokes if you want to go ahead and apply them whenever. It's up to you, your convenience. But yes, Joe is in the happiest. He's trying to do his best to change that happiest place on earth for the next 2 days. So we'll just leave it at that. But wishing him all the best. But yeah, Legend, if you want to stop by tomorrow night, of course, Xbox, you're always there for me if you need to be. So as far as being on the air,
there, man. Yeah, taking the day off.
Yeah, absolutely. John will be here. Hopefully, John will have recovered. You're still feisty today in regards to the chat and the comments. If you got a chance to check it out,
I wear my Michael Jordan stuff on.
Do it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good indeed. I'm not even a Bulls fan. And the thing is, if I, as a huge Lakers fan in that era, still go out of my way to say he's the best, that's got to mean something. If Joe, who wasn't a Bulls fan, goes out of his way to say that.
No, yeah, you're right. And I think as well, Joe, like, you sort of respect what's come before you. And I'm not saying John has a lack of respect, but if someone tells me that Maradona was the greatest soccer player that's ever played, I don't sit there debating them about how much better Messi is, because I didn't see Maradona play. And the same goes for Pele as well. So I think that's where some of the argument doesn't hold up.
It's Thursday, Friday. Yeah, you're right. It's Thursday, Friday.
Thursday,
Friday.
Yes, Australia.
I'm sorry. Yes, that's right. You got me all mixed up with that Australian next day stuff. So it's 2 days.
I know, man. Legend, because he's Wednesday.
Thank you, Dameless. Yeah, I'm like,
happening.
Yeah, it's 2 days. Yes, I'm like, because then you got the Thursday. I'm now in Australian mode as far as thinking.
Yeah.
Yes, it is Thursday. It is Thursday. Want to go ahead and get that straightened out. So it is Thursday and Friday for the Lakers. So Joe could be back on Thursday and Friday. We'll see. But of course, you guys are both welcome to join us on the post game. It is on Thursday. I may come back tomorrow night to see what we can have for you guys as far as more observations, or Lakers Fast Break. May bring a snack pack if I can. But I will say for you guys, truly appreciate you joining us. It is, of course, Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. And, of course, Xbox from the Joe Soro Experiment playback page, and also the Lakers Fast Break playback page, and also what he does here for us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Thank you so much for joining us. It is, again, the game on Thursday with the Golden State Warriors, and Friday here in the States.
Thursday in America, Friday in Australia.
Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, exactly. Again, getting all mixed up as far as the
you gotta come
days
move down under, mate.
They're going by fast, but it is 7 games left. It is now time for the playoff chase, the playoff run. JY says real Lakers fans don't like Mike because his first chip was against the Lakers, but us Lakers fans respect the greatness. Exactly. Exactly. That's, again, I hated every second of watching that finals, but it is what it is. And if you understand, the thing is, again, I just don't think that calling us casuals, and I'll tell this to John next time I see him, just don't think calling us all casuals just because we like one, or we think that one is better than the other. It was needed and necessary on that. So, but yeah, well,
you have a chat to him about that. I think that's the way he uses his language, but he doesn't mean it, I
hope not. I hope not. Maybe, maybe have a couple days to go ahead and chill out on it. Let's go ahead and exactly. And around 3, Sam, I again, maybe in the off season, again, based on consumer demand, if you guys want it at some point down the road. No, some of you tonight don't want it. It will come back real soon. But so those two will just go off on each other at any time. So stay tuned for that. But again, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford, Mark, aka Xbox, and Legend. I Got Next Sports Media. We'll be back hopefully tomorrow for a snack pack. But then, of course, Thursday and Friday, it is the Lakers and the Warriors, and then the Lakers and the Hornets. Looking forward to having you join us once again for more merriment, a little less arguing, a little bit more group hugs, a little bit more love, little bit less arguing. Hint, hint to Joe and John. But hopefully you'll continue to watch us right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.